Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to this week's second episode of No Age Breakdowns. Today we're going to talk about amps, specifically amps I love. So I thought I would start things off by showing you around a few amps that I started out with, and some amps that I have now, some new amps, and the amps that I've loved in the middle. It's all the amps I loved before. Also, after I show off some amps, I figured I would do a quick breakdown of an older song, fairly easy song, called Boy Void. So let's look at some amps. First amp I got when I was a kid, I was able to wrangle up a couple $100 and buy it off of a friend, and I loved it. It's a Marshall Town and Country. Club and Country, Marshall Club Country. It's this brown beast here. So cool. I played this all through high school, and I still play it. I'll record with it occasionally, but it's a beast. It's I think 410s, and it's top heavy. It likes to fall over. So this thing has fallen so many times. This is when I first learned about how to get things retubed, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's taking a beating. I think it's somewhere in the 70s. But what a cool, just growling, snarling amp, and is loud. So I think that sort of set the standard of what I wanted out of amps. You know, it was this old Marshall Club and Country combo. And then from there, I was always looking for other stuff, and loud was the name of the game for a lot of stuff I wanted it to sound. So someone had told me about Sun Model Ts. They were real loud amps. So I said, okay, let's find one of those. And the first one I found was on, I don't even think it was Craigslist. It was before that, maybe the Recycler, Penny Saver, one of these kind of things. And it's this Sun Model T here. This is a red knob version 2 of it, but I played the heck out of this. It has this mid-range switch here in the middle, and these things are loud and beefy, tons of low end. I also have a silver knob version over here, which I also love, but not as much as this red knob version. I found the red knob version worked better for me and for what I needed it to do. It's kind of, it almost has like a scooped mid sort of area. Here, I can put this down here and show you what I'm talking about. So that's the red knob there. So I had it started on the 3K, move it to 1.5. Go down to 750. It growls. It's a super fun amp. I've loved this amp. I have 3 of them, and I usually use them to record at least half the records, if not all the records. But they just sound great. There's tons of low end and real great tube distortion. That thing is really fun. It's kind of been a perpetual sort of part of my backline and setup for years. But the other side of it, I've also had for a bunch of years, are these Sun Beta leads. These are solid state and also have incredible tone. They do a lot of great, warm lows, but I normally roll those off and use them as a little bit more of a treble kind of channel. Let's see. Oops. Get there, down there. Trying to figure out where I can set this up so you can see the beta. So there's the beta lead. Let's hear what that sounds like. Let's see if we roll a little bit more mids in there. So that's the beta lead. And so what I'll usually do is have the Sun Model T there as kind of the crushed mids, and then the beta lead will be some of the brighter, chimier highs. So that's just the beta, and then you add the Model T into it. Just the Model T. Just the beta. So that's kind of how I break those up. So I've been using that for a bunch of years. Usually I'll set the beta lead on top of something so the highs go right into my ear, and then try to get the Model T up somewhere near my ears as well, so I can keep that somewhat a reasonable volume. The other secret weapon that I've been using a lot, and I originally got in Portland at Trade Up Music, was this really cool Roland Spirit 10A. Let's see if I can show that. So I still have the tag on it from Trade Up. I paid $50 for it. Roland Spirit 10A practice amp. I use this a lot for recording. This thing sounds great, has a great tone. It's just not super loud, but it still has a really great tone. I'll show you. So, let's turn it on. Yeah, these Spirit 10As sound great when they're mic'd up and in the studio. I usually keep one right next to the desk where I'm working, so I can always kind of turn it on and do some quick punch-ins. And yeah, those are great amps, and you can usually find them pretty cheap. And I'm working with my friend Daniel in Norway to try to recreate that preamp section of that Roland Spirit 10A. So those are kind of a lot of the live ones and recording ones, but there's also a few other ones I really like. Small amps for recording with. Those are fun. You can get them sounding pretty cooking, and then just stick a mic in front of it. So there's a few other great ones. This one is a ZT Lee Ronaldo Club. This thing is amazing. I've been using this a lot on my solo shows and for solo recording. It's a solid state, but it's light and it sounds great. It's got a lot of low end and it's got a great line out. This is a Supro Blues King behind that, which has 12AX7 tubes in it, so it gets that kind of tube growl really nicely. Let's see, are you seeing these? Yeah, so the ZT there, the Supro. Let's see if I can kind of back up. I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing. Maybe we can swap it around. There you go. So that's the Supro. Then back there is this cheap Fender practice amp that Tim Biscuit painted for me one day when we were at Face Guts. Painted that up there. There's this original Supro Thunderbolt thing that let's see if I can turn. I need to get more light on here. But this is a great original Supro practice amp. Some more Rolands. This PV 400 series sounds awesome. I found that at Guitar Center. There's a Randall sticking its nose out back there. So I kind of collect them and use them for different sounds, whatever the songs call for. But the practice amp as a sick preamp for recording has been something I've done for a while in the studio, and it's been really fun. So definitely, if you have small crappy practice amps that you think sound good but can't take anywhere, you can always use them for recording. And the PV is for okay. There you go. Yeah, I think they're really fun. What does this say? Do you prefer for your home studio recording? Which software do you prefer? I use Pro Tools. It's been great for me. I learned it, working with Pete Lyman at Infrasonic when we were doing Nouns. I would kind of just stand over his shoulder and just look at everything he was doing. And it's been great. I enjoy using Pro Tools. I'm trying to think if there's any other fun amps here. I can grab this one that I got early on and kind of modded. Let's see if I can show you what this does. Stuff. This is kind of my first crappy practice amp. I don't even know who makes it. It's called a H20 guitar amplifier. Put this sweet puffy Charlie Watts sticker on it in high school. I'll plug it in so you can hear what it does. It sounds awesome. Let's find a little jumper cable here. So what's really fun about this amp, I put screws on it so I could wear it as around my shoulders. What I found is if you take the input and put it almost all the way into the headphones, you can create your own oscillator. Actually, I built an output for it. There you go. Almost there. Let's see, let's get it just right. Things definitely become finicky over the years. What can happen there? I don't know if you can hear that. So that thing's really fun. I've been using that since high school. It's kind of a fun, easy way to do it. I just put the splinter off the output before going to the headphones. Just put another output in there, and then you can have your input going to output and create your own little feedback loop. Some questions came in. What's the Trainer TS10? Is a sick practice. I don't have that one, but I bet it's great. Trainer makes awesome stuff. Favorite city to play in? I mean, it's great to get to tour. I love, we play here in LA a bunch. That's where we live. Chicago's always really fun. We have great shows in Chicago. I mean, it's hard to pick out one city because, had so many good shows in so many different cities. Definitely love, the usual suspects, Austin, Chicago, London. It's kind of about, where we have friends and it's fun to hang out. Usually it involves some kind of restaurant for Dean. And, it's fun. Do you record with these amps? Yes, I recorded with most of all these amps. So all of the amps I have in here, I've recorded with all of them. It's fun to kind of stick a mic in front of something and sort of see what it does. Sometimes it'll inspire a song or a feeling or a sound you can get out of it. There's a great Silvertone hiding back there. I couldn't really pull them all out. Maybe if keep doing this, I'll pull out different ones for different episodes. But which amp for Valley Hump Crash? Valley Hump Crash probably was the Model T and the Beta lead. I think for that record, that was mostly what we were using for those records. Or that's where so those are the amps we were using for those records. Cool. All right, let's do... Is this still turned on? Let's do a quick rundown of Boy Void. It's a song off of Weirdo Rippers. It's one of the early songs we wrote, and super simple. So what we're doing is... So we're going B. You start just, bar chord on B, which is the A string on the 3rd fret, and then your ring finger on the D string on the, 2nd and 4th fret. So ring finger on the 2nd fret on the A, ring finger on the 4th fret on the D. So they move, and then you just move it up one string to a D flat. So B to D flat. And up here, sorry. Oh my God, I'm a moron. B, G flat, A to E. Let's do it here. Changes, kind of do counts, like do a 4 count, and then I'll kick in overdrive pedal, so going. And then in that middle part, you just kind of bend, you just stay on the B and sort of bend your neck back. Put a little pressure on the bend there, and then. So that's Boy Void. Let's see, another question. Creamback or greenback? I kind of don't care about speakers. I go through them, and whatever is in there is kind of what I use. I definitely like the vintage 30s, I think it is. I've bought those. I've bought so many speakers over the years. I kind of don't have an allegiance or preference to any one particular speaker. I think there's probably some great ones out there if you can hear what they do. I think I also play so distorted that finding, a tone that's, that's right, just kind of gets obliterated by the time I crank everything up. The speakers aren't even really audible. I mean, you hear them, but in terms of the details and stuff in there that make a difference, you wouldn't even know. All right, did I answer all those questions? See Devin's joined. What's up, Devin? Tristan, how you doing, Tristan? Are you working from home? It's crazy, right? You guys want to hear any other songs? I think that's pretty much what I got. Showed off some amps, played some Boy Void. Yeah. I like SM57s on guitar. Or, try to go line out if you can. I did get Tristan working from home. Yeah. Man, it's crazy, right? Yeah, this is the Sheridan 2. It's answering Tristan. This is, yeah, my favorite guitar. Kind of my number one. I can play one other amp. I just recently got this Roland SIP, what do they call it? SIP 300? Yeah. So it's a solid state 80s Roland amp. Let's see if you can see it there. I can plug it in. I think it sounds really fat, and I got this, I don't know how you say it, Coke. It's a Dutch company with a power amp to go with it. Sounds pretty awesome. I was looking for something that sounded close to those Roland Spirit 10As. This was made right around the same time. So we can go in here. It's definitely an awesome preamp head. Tone creator section here. You have like a bass, mid, and treble, and then you can have these ability to high cut, low cut, and then select your frequency range. So this is a little muddy right now because I was trying to emulate the Model T, but sounds great. I mean, it's a solid state head, and it's from the early 80s, and it sounds awesome. Yeah, all the Roland stuff sounds really good. I think it's kind of one of those things that people, don't really know yet. They're still sleeping on small Roland amps or old solid state early 80s Roland amps. I think they're awesome. What do we got here? Production mixing techniques. I mean, normally I try to break it up where it's, a low sort of sounding guitar and then a chimier guitar. And I like to hard pan guitars. I'll usually do rhythm tracks. I usually do like a rhythm track and then do a hard pan of that same rhythm track on the other side, 2 different performances. And I feel like it kind of gives a little bit of a stereo sort of field, kind of to bump the song along. I mean, there's all kinds of other things that go past there. So I use overdrives. Right now, what you're hearing from all this stuff is just the sound of the amp. The signal's just going right into the amp. So you're hearing the character of what the amp is overdriving. I think they sound great. I definitely do have a bunch of different overdrive pedals though. Maybe I can save that for another episode. We can go over some of the dirt pedals. It'd be fun. What else? Let's your song Sorts would sound cool out of that. Yeah. How do you balance huge loud sounds when you're recording? I kind of don't care. It's kind of fun to just get stuff loud because some of these amps, especially like these Model Ts, sound really awesome loud. So I think it's fun to just let it go loud. And then I usually do like a scratch guitar track along to the drums. So Dean's hearing me in his headphones, and I'll just play that through either direct in to the console or just through some kind of quieter amp in another room that's mic'd that doesn't bleed into the drums. And then when I get the chance to do all the fun guitar overdubs, I'll just crank it, or if it's quiet, that's fine too. You can kind of just, I'll place it in the mix wherever you want it. Yeah, I like the sound of a really pushed amp, so it's fun. Sometimes you really need to just get loud to get that sound, that bleeding over sound. Cool. What was it? Portugal. Yeah, I'd love to come back to Portugal. The last time we were at ZDB, it was a year ago, 2 years ago. That was super fun. I love going to Portugal. That's always a fun city to play. We've had a lot of fun there. Do I have a guitar practice routine? Not really. I normally just kind of run through a song, or I'll play something. This thing's sounding out of tune right now. Let's see. Yeah, not any kind of real routine. It's, I usually kind of try to run through a song. I think I usually play. We always sound check with. Oh my god. With that song, my brain's not working right now. Kind of sound check with that, so that sort of helps me. I know what that sound sounds like through each amp I played with, so I can get that sounding right. The other thing, my other quick sound check trick that I like to do is I play. It's kind of nerdy, but I play the Melvins version of "Going Blind" from Houdini. Try to play that. It annoys Dean, but I can always hear where the low end is, and that song, in my mind, I know how much bass I need for that song to sound good. So I'll sound check with that often, and yeah, you just kind of give big low E's always help too, just to kind of hear what it's sounding like. Yeah. Those things. Any other questions on amps? We can definitely talk amps all day. What else is fun? Yeah, I've been trying to put together these Hillbish amps are awesome. Hillbish makes these awesome overdrive pedals. Speaking of Melvins, I'm playing Melvin's things. Buzz uses these Hillbish preamps, and also have the full amplifier with the power amp included in it somewhere in here. But yeah, those things sound awesome. So I've been trying to figure out, better tone at lower volumes for different things. So it's kind of been my, hunting down cool sounding solid state things that have great tone that I can get sound decent at a decent volume. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go back and do some more recording and mixing. Thanks you guys for joining in. This question, favorite mics for recording vocals. This thing back there. This has been one we've used for a while. It's the Electro Voice RE20. This easy pop filter there in front of it. Yeah, it's been great for vocals, for what we need. I mean, there's lots of other more expensive mics you can use, but that's worked for us. So, all right. Thanks again. Yeah, please DM me. Let me know what songs you want me to play, what other gear questions you have. I'll be back next Monday doing more. I'm going to post this up on YouTube and on Instagram TV. If you missed the first part of it, you can go back and see all those, the first areas. All right, cool. Thanks. See you. Have a good weekend.